From Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2039, these are the Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, November 30th, 2016. As the northeastern corner of New Zealand's South Island tries to clear out from this month's major earthquake, one local amateur has taken stock of his opportunity to help, not just in that moment, but in the future.
On holiday in Waiā, at the time a 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck New Zealand on Monday the 14th of November, Daniel Ayres at L1 DFA found himself a few miles from its epicentre. Being there already with his handheld radio, Daniel was among the few who could get involved immediately in that rural region.
I only had a handheld dual band radio with me, and so I was able to get into an amateur repeater on 146.975 megahertz, and that allowed me to talk to people in Christchurch and in the wider area around the northern part of the South Island. And they told me straight away that we had just had a direct hit. I was able to quickly scoot out into Christchurch and swap the car that I was driving for my SUV, which was fitted out for emergency communications on HF and VHF, and had everything necessary ready to go to talk to anybody anywhere. So I took that vehicle back into Waiā, and it was using that I was able to participate more fully in providing some communications.
Daniel also worked for hours using the civil defence system and equipment before being asked to switch to his own amateur radios to help the New Zealand Fire Service pass messages to their regional office in Christchurch, 100 miles away.
What I found was very interesting was that the quote-unquote amateur VHF network were more reliable in this instance, and this was not the only instance that we've seen this in this part of the country, but the amateur infrastructure was more reliable than the radio communications infrastructure put in by civil defence.
The next challenge, Daniel said, is not just preparing for the next quake that is surely to come, or the series of inevitable aftershocks, but finding a way for radio amateurs to establish a system of response on HF that will help this rural nation more reliably. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF.
Once again, amateur radio succeeds when all else fails. Our final story this week, in keeping with the Thanksgiving holiday here in the U.S., is about gratitude. Here's Neil Rapp, WB9 VPG.
For more than 50 years, amateur radio operators were grateful for the spring ritual of the Dayton Hamvention, which was held at Hara Arena in Trotwood, Ohio. Now the arena has been shut down, and the massive global gathering of amateurs has found a new home at the Greene County Fairgrounds starting in 2017. Pieces of arena history, especially keepsakes of Hamvention history, are being auctioned off online. The online auctioneer, Everything But the House, began accepting bids on Thanksgiving Day, the 24th of November, and the auction concludes Wednesday, the 30th of November. No doubt there will be many among the tens of thousands of radio amateurs, 2 generations of visitors, wanting something by which to remember Hamvention's longtime home. For many hams, though, this will be simply a harvest of memories, some of them precious indeed. Although bidding on all items starts at $1, nostalgia is actually beyond any price. It's easy enough just to own Hara memories themselves. They're bought easily with gratitude for the good years and the friendships that flourished under that roof. And all of that knows no season.
As Neil says, the auction ends today, so if you want something, you'd better head to ebth.com and enter Hara in the search box. For the rest of this week's Amateur Radio News, please listen to the full Amateur Radio Newsline report online on a repeater near you, or on shortwave radio station WTWW at 9930 and 5085 kilohertz. And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news for 4 decades and counting at www.arnewsline.org. With Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF, Neil Rapp, WB9 VPG, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe, I'm Don Wilbanks, AE5DW 73. We'll see you next time here on Ham Nation.